What's that random thing up there? What the heck? Looks like someone actually tied that on there too. Weird. It's like a perfect blue sky today too. Oh, too bad I can't fly the drone, but there was a lot of interesting stuff, actually some good stuff. Let's start with some of the cool news I read. You guys see about that flying car or whatever you want to call it? It reminds me of a drone, of it taking off straight up, being able to fly a little bit. It makes me want to have something like that for a vehicle, though it makes me wonder if this stuff is just usually video hype. For some reason I've never been too much of a car guy, though stuff like this would make me more excited to use it as a form of transportation. So it's probably still too dangerous at this point in time, huh? I also saw this video about people using drones for volcano research or something like that, so it's kind of cool. Although I saw the picture that they use of, I guess, the stuff that they use to do the research, and holy cow! What is that, like a huge model aircraft? I would think the volcano heat would melt that thing like in a second. But it's kind of cool, like the shots they got. Kind of reminds me why you should try to promote the hobby in general, because even for people like myself who don't use it commercially, I would imagine it's using it as like a hobbyist or recreationalist that gives you inspiration to do stuff like that like in the future. So in my opinion, for all the people that say, who cares, you're just like a recreational drone flyer, I don't care about the laws in that sense. I mean, you gotta think long term. Okay, what the heck is this right in the middle of the park out of nowhere here? The heck is that? Don't tell me that's a part of a drone or something. Weird. Although it does look like it's part of a vehicle, maybe it's just a fan or something like that. So it's kind of an interesting event that happened with that DJI battery that I returned or submitted the request for. I did reply saying whether or not my video was good enough to submit it, and I didn't get a direct email reply. But apparently the official DJI support responded right in the channel, and you can see here they actually apologized for the inconvenience, although they say the battery shouldn't, I guess, impede in any way of the operation of the drone, although I'm a little iffy. I don't know. If it doesn't look like it fits, it's not really safe. But yeah, they said send it back and they'll handle it, so that's kind of great. So what made me really happy about this is, in context to even things like this drone law and all that, people are wondering whether or not their voices are being heard and progress is being made. I think that's just an example in many ways of just putting it out there and all of you guys just continuing the conversation. It actually makes companies and organizations, they pay attention afterwards. I mean, in my opinion anyways, personally, like I said, since I'm more in the digital media age, if that's what you want to call it, that's usually how people get things solved. They put the stuff out there and then everybody starts spreading the message, engages in the conversation, and the next thing you know, the companies, they have to answer to it. I mean, from what I see in many ways, the same thing's happening with these drone laws. Just keep adding the pressure, keep generating the conversation. And some of you guys actually post really interesting stuff too, I must say. And speaking about online conversations and generating, I guess, the awareness, holy cow, you guys work really fast in terms of finding all the facts. Like even with this video about the CBC using this drone incident, holy cow, look at you guys just posted all these videos, the references, how that fake video was created. I mean, again, it just shows you the power of just putting something out there, I suppose. It makes me wonder why like the people like the media don't have the same type of resources in many ways, where it takes a dedicated group of passionate drone flyers and all that to basically put light on the issue, like the truth of it. I'm actually curious on how they all respond to this with all your guys' comments and your proof basically that you're dumping out there. It'd be kind of interesting, because I think this is kind of one of those victories, so to speak, that the community needs. Because I know for a lot of people they're demoralized, saying like, oh, my voice isn't getting nowhere. Like, I don't think so based on what I see. Because even in some of my comments I can see there seemed like there are political groups kind of encouraging like, hey, if you don't agree with this guy, then come to our party and all that. Like, I'm not a political guy, so I don't keep track of this stuff. But I guess that just shows, again, like as long as you guys are generating the conversation, putting out the facts out there, people listen. Now, how long would it take until someone of a big authority, so to speak, starts recognizing all the stuff that's being put out there? I mean, only time will tell, but to my knowledge, there's actually progress. With that quote, near-miss drone incident a few days back, you guys basically linked to me the site which actually lists, I guess, all the reports of when people see drones. And basically, I thought, why not try to look at this and kind of discover, well, how many incidents were there and what exactly do they mean? Because for me personally, I wouldn't normally like read things like this because again, I'm a recreational flyer that flies it for fun just to get like videos. So to me, when I see all these blank fields, no incident or the incident, and there's no action taken, there's nothing really happened, it makes me wonder like, well, are all these reports just over exaggerated, or are they really that deadly? Has there been accidents? So I went to the site. I'll link it below too, so you guys can try it yourself. I think it's the CADORS or whatever that stands for. And I did a search basically of everything from the beginning of the year to about now today, and to list everything UAV related in terms of incidents. And so basically I got all these results. And as you can see in total, there's 37 records. So 37 incidents, I suppose, which doesn't sound like a lot in general. Now for the most part, most of the things I was browsing just said nothing, like nothing there. Basically it's just someone that claims they spotted something. So again, what does it mean? Is it anything that should cause an extreme concern? So the other thing that kind of interested me was how many more reports were there ever since this interim law was introduced? Because in many ways, like even the government says, oh my God, they're getting so many more reports and they have to do something about it. But what do those numbers really mean? That's kind of what I wanted to look into a little bit. And unless I'm counting this wrong, I was manually looking through all these search results. It says in January there were 5 results or incident reports. In February there was 6. In March there was 8. And in April there was 16. Because the first thing that would come to my mind are most people that would say, like for example, well, why the spike all of a sudden? What happened? And in my opinion, like this is basically what happened as a result of that interim law. So is it because there was so many more reports because there's so much irresponsible flyers, or because the law is just so ridiculous where even if the person is completely safe, it's still reported as an incident, so to speak? If you're an expert in some ways, I mean, I would encourage you, tell someone like me, what do these numbers mean, like to you? Like not to say like, for example, if there was someone flying close to like say the harbor with a bunch of planes at their right, like that's not what I'm saying at all. But to me, these numbers are kind of scary because again, if the only result why the numbers went higher is because the law is so ridiculous, like say the 9-kilometer range or the meters within the animals and everything like that, that qualifies as a quote, phone 911, then what I'm afraid is you could easily twist these numbers saying, oh my God, look at these incident reports. In April, it spiked up to 16. When really it might not even mean anything, but I'm afraid they would potentially use this as a narrative to say again, to justify like, yes, these drone laws should be in place because look at all these people that are breaking the law. But I hope that this number here is not going to be used in any way again to kind of promote the narrative of, drones are dangerous. Because I know for me, if I didn't fly a drone and just hearing it as a public, when people say incident, I immediately think, for example, that drone was maybe 2 seconds away from crashing into a plane or something like that, which, from me seeing this, that's not the case at all. It could be it was within, for example, 6 kilometers away or something like that. Like, oh, I see this little white dot floating around. That's an incident report. So I guess with examples like this, it's just going to come down to the regular hobbyists and everything like that to educate the public before the media or whatever makes a hysteria about it. Oh, I'm just waiting for the day the transport minister is going to say, oh, look, the incident reports more than tripled, doubled, or whatever. Actually, I had another interesting thought about numbers in these cases because in many ways for these incidents, the narrative that I normally hear is there's so many more recreational flyers, so that translates to the fact that we're more dangerous. The more of us, the more incidents there could be. So you have to put a restriction on that. Where there's more of us to do good as well, even like for the country. Just as an example today, I learned that there was a hiking trail site of some sort, like not in Canada, but in a different country, I guess to showcase people who want to potentially come to Canada. And apparently they linked to one of my hiking videos of the waterfall, of the trail here to show off to people. So think about that. Like for me, just as a regular recreational flyer, do it for fun, I'm basically promoting the country for everybody. And I'm just one guy too. Imagine the thousands of other Canadians you're stopping from making videos or sharing experiences like these to promote essentially the country and what it has to offer in many ways. It's like a lot of people say, well, that's ridiculous. Like basically we're over exaggerating on how much we can contribute. Yeah, don't underestimate it even with this example here. So again, for all the skeptics, think of the positive that all the large recreational flyers can bring as well. In the process of making the laws, in my opinion, don't hinder the progress or creativity of the regular individual, because you never know how much that can do. Just that one little regular guy can do for the whole country as well.